What's good, gang? Can y'all hear me? What's good? Let's get rid of the music. What's good, gang? How y'all doing? Design Syndrome here. How you doing? Let me check. Here, we're live. We're live. Down from Buenos Aires, Argentina. What's good? How you doing, guys? Did y'all already upload your submission to the challenge? I might know. I'm gonna do the feedback round in just a bit. Wanted to just holla at you real quick. Also, I'm gonna do like a little intro on Swiss design. Let's just wait for a couple more minutes to maybe allow some people to join in. How have you all been? I haven't streamed in a while, like 3 months, I guess, since I think since I came back from New York. But how you doing? How has the exercise been for y'all? Checking out the Discord. Let me know if you have some questions before we begin. Wanted to talk about just a little bit about Swiss design in general, about its origins. Just a little intro. This is not gonna be fucking history class. Let me know how has the last exercise been. I've seen a lot of common issues in the submissions that you are uploading to the Discord channel that we're gonna talk about during the feedback round. Right now, I'm gonna do the weekly challenge, the Swiss Design weekly challenge. I'm gonna do my submission live to show you a bit the thought process behind using grids in an effective way and as they should be used. Right, we're gonna talk about a little bit about Swiss design and what's the purpose of it. Right, and I'm gonna do a quick feedback round of the things I see on the Discord channel that y'all are submitting. ¿Cómo va? Let me let me check something first. hmm I'm from Argentina, Buenos Aires. Oh, I remember what I did because I downloaded some references to show you of graphic design before all the explosion of Swiss design, really after the Second World War. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll save it and I'll maybe edit it and make a video out of it, chopping it up. But if you could stay for the live, that's even better because maybe you get to ask some questions. Gracias, Edu. Genio. I've been doing design for a lot, like I don't know, since I'm 18 and I'm 32 now. So what's that? 12 years. I don't know how to. Yeah, 14 years. 14 years, I guess. but but yeah, because at the moment I didn't drop, but the moment ended the secondary school, which is like high school, I was already like messing around with Photoshop and stuff like that, because we had like a computer at home, and I would just mess around with Photoshop and stuff like that, because my computer, it was the house computer, and my father used it for work, and he was doing some graphic design gigs. Nothing crazy, but he was using that kind of software to make personal cards. So I would play with Corel Draw. That was the software that they used to use back then, right? It was sort of competing. Now it is still around, I guess, Corel Draw, but Illustrator has taken over. And and yeah, I just started playing there. Then went to uni for graphic design, and from there we are up here now. You know what I mean? I'm gonna take this off. What's good? So okay, guys, what you wanna do first? You wanna me to do the piece and explain a bit about Swiss design, or you want me to do the feedback first? I guess it's better if I do the sort of the explanation first, and then we do like the feedback round, because it'll make more sense once you get the intro to Swiss design, and then we talk about the pieces, right? Because you'll have a better grasp for it. I feel like, and that goes there. I'm just preparing some windows because I prepared some images to show you. Mm-hmm. Because I prepare stuff for you. You know what I mean? It's not like I just press stream and that's it. I really like to maybe teach you a thing or two that would be helpful. I prepare this Swiss design inspo to show you the sort of stuff that I mean. This I need to put it here. I need to know if it displays correctly. Perfect, my guys. So let's just do like quick introductory thing about Swiss design, right? Okay, so Swiss design is not so much like a style you do, right? Like I'm gonna do Swiss style. Like you can do that, but Swiss design really it originated after World War II, right? Some Swiss designers started to take really heavy inspiration and construct off of the constructivist movement of the Bauhaus and all the work those dudes were doing. And it was sort of a response to the graphic design needs that people were starting to have, right? The graphic design was a little bit more subjective then, right? Let me show you some examples of what I mean. For example, we have stuff like this, these kind of pieces, right? The structure is not that clear. They are beautiful in their own right, right? But um, Sweden designers started to, like, I don't remember the names. Let me see. Like Joseph Mueller Brockman and Armin Hoffman were the ones that started to do and really to push this way of designing, right? For example, we have these kind of works. For example, here I found this Behance project that did an analysis, for example, from posters from Mueller Brockman, and you can see how they started to use this dude like went really crazy with the mathematical analysis and portraying of the grids, right? You don't need to do this. This is like way over the top, but it shows you like to the degree that the organizational elements start to respond to something, right? Because when we were designing sort of stuff like this that were more subjective, now design needed to turn into something that was more objective, right? To be contrary to subjective, because you could understand the hierarchical values and read this in whatever order you like. It has a hierarchy, but it could vary from person to person, right? But stuff like this tends to work in a more organized manner, regardless of who views it, right? And for example, in this one, we can see how the center starts to create the guidelines in which the text starts to support itself on the right wall of the column, right? And we can see how the eye goes from the big one to the middle one, and then the this one, the 90-degree one, and the small one, right? And the same happened with the text, because your eyes goes boom, boom, boom. Then from Musica Viva, you need to start reading all over again. So your eyes do those kind of this movement all over the page, right? And this was all thought out by the designers, right, back then. And I made this board to show you how Swiss design really then started to take over, right? And it's not just a way of designing like I do Swiss design, right, or Swiss style. It really permeated into every design, kind of design genre, and design overall, of branding, of packaging design, right? Stuff that is a bit more modern, right? But the key thing here is that the key elements of the core principles were it needed to have clarity, order, readability, and objectivity. That was the thing that I was saying at the beginning, in contraposition of it being really subjective, right? So the purpose of using grids is to really starting to draw the eye, right, from one point to the other, and really start to create some sort of hierarchy and compositional sense, right, of the pieces. It's not just a thing of, oh, I'm going to do a grid and I'm going to put the things inside the grid just for the sake of putting them in a grid, right? But it needs to have a sense of why is everything there, and start to establish correlations between the elements in design that we put in the grid. So we create flow, right, using the columns and the rows to draw the eye and to make assimilations between the design elements, right? So for example, let's go now to the Discord, or we are here right now. And let's go, for example, to, let me show first maybe of the some of the over here of the examples that I showed first. For example, this one. I don't know if it's, I'm gonna open it in browser because it's playing bigger. Like this. For example, we start to see our eyes go straight to this grid part of the date, right? And then everything, it starts to trickle down from there. And check how we have, for example, this block text that have an organization that is similar, and it starts to repeat, right? For example, oh no, this one wasn't the one that I wanted to talk about. There is other that is better. This, because this one, I think it's nice, the organizational flow that it has, but maybe it's a bit too, I don't know, it's like for aesthetic sake, right? But for example, this one, right? This is a rave flyer, right, from Minsk. And from here you can start to see how they have those variables, right? For example, they have the main stage and the outdoor stage, and you can see how both are written in traditional writing with the capital at the beginning, and then minuscule letters to end the phrase, right? So we have main stage, then the outdoor stage, and then the artists are the second point of interest, right? We have first the rave, and then we have the artist, right? We have the what here. This element answers the what of the flyer. Then we have the who, which is the artist, and we have them separated here. And because we have one at the top and one at the bottom, we can start to tell, oh, okay, they are divided. And then we check, and then, yeah, main stage, outdoor stage, right? We have the different artists. Then, for example, this one, you can see the AKA, Sagor, Stev, and the RU and the live US, right? Those start to be variables inside those elements of design, right? So we have first the title of the rave, then we have the how we are going to signal the stages, right? So we have the main stage, outdoor stage, and it responds to being on the same row, right? So that's an element of how do we merge them together while separating them, but at the same time, how we make it easily recognizable that we are talking about the same thing, right? So we put it in the same row, we use the same font in the same size, right? So we start to establish a system of design that's supporting itself on constant and variables, right? Because you can see not all the DJs or all the artists that are presenting have this variable of the text, like the little text on top. So that visually starts to create something more interesting, right? Like, oh, we have a little detail there. What does it mean, right? So yeah, and then we have what is this? The date, and then the time, and I guess I don't know what is this, the price and the age, right? So, and you can see that's written in a way that not other thing in the flyer is written, right? So maybe this text of the date and the date is similar to the artist, but it's not on the same row, and it's not aligned to the main stage and outdoor stage, right? So this is a very clear, simple way of how you can start to use these elements and how to use the grid to parse the information in a way that makes sense, right? Let me know if y'all following me or it's just rambling some of a madman. You know what I mean? Let me drink some water because so just starting out. This one I feel was a really nice first submission because it has like a clear entry point, has nice hierarchies that are well placed on the grid. I feel like it maybe overused too much. Like it's easy to establish like the variables and all of these different uh, design elements when you box them together, right? It would be nicer maybe if you could only do it with text, right, without relying on the shapes. But it's all cool. So this one is great. I feel like we can enter the debate of maybe I would put some elements down here, or maybe if they are gonna be so easily recognizable, right? I guess it's the Figma, like a Figma convention, and it makes sense. Like it's a drop down; they are all together. But if they're all the same design with the background color, you can start to put them in different places, right? And I would recognize that are the same thing. You're talking about the same stuff because they have the same backdrop, and the little compositions are all the same. So I would associate they are all for the same thing, right? Or the same type of information, right? Look at it like that. Like everything you put, every design element you put within a poster or within every piece, to what it answering, right? If you make a poster for an event, like first is what is the event, so that is the what. Then who is going to be in the event, then when, right? So what's the event, what's happening in the event, who is being in the event, where is the event, and when is the event, right? So all those different whys and different questions we answer in information, right? And that information makes sense that we display differently across the piece, right? So the title is written differently that what is happening in the convention, right? Like when we say it out loud, it feels like, yeah, it's logic, right? But then when we start to design, sometimes it starts to happen. Let me see. This one is another that I thought it was cool, right? Because it's you could we could argue more about the grid, right? But he's using the different hierarchies to convey different questions, right? To answer different questions about the convention, and it's they are being presented in different styles, right? So we have the conference, and then we have the location that's a bit different to the when it's the convention, to the what's happening in the convention, right? So we have all of these different questions answered graphically in a poster that follows some guidelines, right? So that is the use of grids. For example, this one I felt that the first the grid is not that apparent, right? And we have text that justify to one side and then to the other side, so that's kind of odd. And also we are putting, okay, I guess these are the top 10 qualifiers, but there is no need really to put them all in both rows with the numbers. They are all together, and it's a really simple association by proximity that we are talking about the same kind of information. But maybe you could sparse them out, right, all around the poster, and it they being the same on the same position relative to the grid. We would also understand that that it's a lineup, and it would work. And I could even be more in parts with the aesthetic of the racing line, right, when the races are about to come out, and then you can start to see how you can use that positional thing in the grid. It's similar, right, to how they come out in the race, because it's also called the grid, right? So that's a way also we can use the elements. hmm this one was, oh, did I say this was okay? Yes. Yes, it is. I think this one it's okay. You could differentiate more, like the what's the convention to the where to the when, right? To the what are the speakers. I really like the image at the background. That's also like objective photography was a thing on Swiss design that they wanted to move away from illustration, because photography is far more accurate representation of reality. That was they take, right? This one again, this one's really nice. I'm gonna do something not like this, but of the tattoo convention, right? This one's cool. The one thing that I would change about this, I would change the position. Like if you're gonna justify to one side, do it to that side in every element of the poster. I feel, but yeah, this one I liked it. I liked it, but it's missing some little details. This one is nice. This one is nice. You see how there's a little difference between the elements, but you can see how she did all for example, here it's crazy because it's putting founder, founded, based in websites, right? It's giving you it's creating information to put in the flyer, right? That then you can build up on and create different hierarchies for it, right? Because for example, I could put what and create a parenthesis, right, and then put the name of the convention, right? All the information that you can come up to, then that you can then translate visually, is going to help you to position things in a grid with more intention, right? For example, the website, all this row, I maybe do it less than this, right? The hierarchy of this should be less than the information you're trying to give. So I would change that and make it more apparent, because that's also a good cool technique. Like if you look at the poster and squint your eyes, like, and do you know how to blur your vision, right? Like blur your vision, and you'll see how the poster like sort of blends together, right? And you need to be able to clearly see the different elements when you sort of squint your eyes and blur your vision, right? And then don't get all cramped up together, you know. hmm This one again, you see, like if I look at it at a glance, I would feel that all this information it's answering the same thing, right? But it says the date with the hour and the drinks bites, and then who are on the convention, right? And one would guess that there is information here that is far more important than other bits of information, right? This one's cool. You see, like every different bit of information is portrayed in a different way, and it follows the grid, right? And it makes sense, and it's easy to read, and you understand what happened. The information is being relayed to you easily, so it works, right? This one's not as tight, but he's trying to do sort of the same thing, right? Like here also the mistake of putting the name of the stage, I feel bigger than the artists themselves, right? This one is a beautiful poster, but I think this is okay. It's Swiss design. Yeah, it's kind of Porsche. If you took out the grid itself, it would be cool. The 930, I feel it could be curved a bit tighter, but yeah, it's cool. It's cool. Let me know, guys, if you have any questions that you have right now. We can answer them before I jump into the design itself. ¿Cómo va Gastón? Blue and white one. This one. This one, my guy. I mean, according to what I just said about the pieces, kind of know you should kind of know what's wrong with yours, right? That's another key aspect about feedback rounds, right? Because it's like university. Sometimes your piece is not gonna receive one-on-one feedback, right? Because but also me as a quote unquote teacher, I'm looking at the pieces, I'm trying to respond to the to the error I think most are making, right? So according to what I just said, I feel you could kind of extrapolate and know what the mistake of this one is, right? Because yeah, it's beautifully it's beautifully placed on the grid. It's on the grid. That's that's great, right? But it's not any placement on anything. It's not responding to no question. You know what I mean? Like yeah, yeah. It's I think it's not a thing about the caps on the letters, right? Like even lorem ipsum here is not a flyer about anything, right? So you're just putting things on a flyer, right? Arcana community. No, no, no. It's not the poster is beautiful. If you could fill it with all the information that actually made sense, then yeah, right? You could make it only aesthetic, but the purpose of the exercise was to come up with a made up event so you can okay, this is gonna be the title of the event, and here I'm gonna place the date, and this is gonna be the auditorium, and I could put the date here, and maybe if I put the date here, I could put where you can buy the tickets here, and maybe on this column I could place what are the speakers, right? And then I could link this to another row and put where are their nationalities, you know what I mean? And then you start to design like this is a beautiful poster, but it's not responding to the exercise. Is that kind of clear? For example, that poster, your poster, I would hang this shit on my wall, right? I wouldn't hang this shit on my wall, but this is a better design. You know what I mean? Right? There is more thought put into this, right? There is more thought put into this than into yours. You know what I mean? Um, and because of that, maybe this now got too busy, right? But if this was a real flyer for Vogue festival, whatever, and it needed to have this information, then it is what it needs to be, right? It's not a thing of more or less beauty. It's if it works less or works more. I think this one is actually better because at least it feels like it's trying to say something, right? We have a date here, Arcana community. Even this competes also a bit like the Berm here, and the Arcana community kind of competes. But keep in mind that, guys, like me as a teacher and in the Discord channel, I'm seeing at all the pieces and seeing what are the common mistakes, and I'm trying to give feedback that you should be able to read and then extrapolate to your work. I don't know what is not focusing. If I go here, it doesn't focus. Yes. So it's like that, in university it was kind of like that. We would hang our pieces on the wall and the teacher would go, this one, and it would talk about this one, who this is, who is this work from, and you would say me, and they would say come to the front and defend it, and you would say, well, I did this because da da da, and the teacher would say that's fucking bullshit, and then that was a way of building like detachment from your own work, right? To be able to go, yeah, maybe it is kind of bullshit, right? And that's okay, right? But sometimes your work doesn't get picked, right? And you see the feedback on a partner or a friend group, a friend work, right? And you go, oh, maybe yeah, my work has some of that. I feel like, right? And then you start to you, and then you look at your piece and you can say, I think I did some of that. You know what I mean? What's your my guy? Wet. Let me see the first one. Yeah, I think it got better. I think it's you are doing the thing right. I feel like it has the title, it has the when, it has the where. Like you should maybe work a bit more on how you develop your text, right? Because here you try to place, because you said like ink, three letters, you try to put one in each row, but it breaks the legibility too much. Like one thing about Swiss is don't make it, you can try to make it more complicated if you want to make it like, I don't know, cooler, quote unquote cooler. But right now for this exercise we are going purist Swiss design. Let's make it, you know what I mean, like readability, organized, right? And not try to break the style too much for now. It's just for the sake of getting the fundamentals right, because Swiss design is not so much about doing the style and making it look a certain way, right? But it's a design process that gets you to the style that Swiss design is famous for, right? And I have things on my grunge style, grunge brutalist style, whatever, that are from Swiss design, right? Because it's what I studied, right? But in our university I didn't study Swiss design. It's just how typography is taught, right? Because it's so intertwined right now with the way we interpret design and we use design, like sorry, in everything, right? How menus on cameras are designed, how how packaging is designed for almost anything, right? The way text is aligned and the way this formation is portrayed, it's entirely influenced by that design movement from the end of Second World War to now. So learning this design style, it's one of the most important things you can do, because outside doing cool images for, I don't know, a client, when you need to design something even for yourself, you're trying to make a website for yourself, you're trying to make I don't know, an email for your email list, or whatever thing that you need to build on, right? That you're gonna need to rely at some part that people are gonna have to understand it, then this is gonna be key thing to know and to have, right? So this one is cool. Like from this you can start to adjust, get better at typography, like get this typography stretch, or I don't know, it doesn't work well with this typography. I think this typography is beautiful, like the Moscow by West. This typography, I love it, right? Try to make everything with this type, make it like extra bold, ink tattoo convention, don't separate the letters, make it clear and cut, get rid of the images, like throw them away, and see how you can puzzle it back together. I think those hierarchies are good, and play a bit with it more. I don't know. Make this copy of text, make it even smaller. Play even more with the differences between the hierarchies to create that more clear flow from the where the eye should go. Right. I think this is cool. And try also to do pieces and let go of the grid. Like use the grid, but don't put the grid. You know what I mean? Like I see a lot of people put in the grid because it looks cool. Let me close the WhatsApp because fucking crazy. Okay, but are you sort of understanding? Let me know if I'm being clear or if I'm being sort of, you know what I mean. What's your piece? What's your piece, Lucas? Look at Chabot. Air show. That's your name or that's the piece? Oh, air show. I said that one was cool. This one, right? Yeah, this one is cool. And that's all I think about the grids. Like you sort of think like sort of oh, we're gonna do some Elden Ring shit, you know what I mean? But uh, about picking the grids, usually for an A4 poster or something like that, I would go for a 4 by 8, right? Try to go like make it modular, right? If you go 4, go 8. If you go 2, go 4. If you go 6, go 12, right? And you can start to play. And also you can sort of look at the Fibonacci sequence and stuff like that to build asymmetrical grids, right? Grids don't need to be perfectly square. Grids can be tilted to one side or the other. Grid can be spiral. The thing of the grid is needs to be a skeleton for you to put your type on, made up of lines that follow whatever you're placing on the text, or the text or elements on the flyer on, or any piece, whether it may be. It's like if you look at nature, there are things that look widely different to us, yet they work. This is kind of the same. You can make a perfectly rigid and flat grid, or you can make it whimsical and spiraling, like the one I show you from the Pinterest. Like the dude was making the circular reticle, with the angles and shit like that. But yeah, then you can start to sort of think like, okay, I need to portray a lot of information. Then my grid is gonna need to be a bit more. It's gonna need to be a bit more expansive, right? I'm gonna need more modules, so I'm gonna make it 9 by 18 or 6 by 12. You know what I mean? What's good, Jack? Everyone say hello to fucking Jack. I'm gonna try to do now the Birmingham accent from YouTube. Perfect, guys. Any other questions about any of or the other pieces? This was one good. This one didn't even did the challenge. Like this one is a no. But I saw a lot of you do that. Yeah, let's go. Appreciate. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, actually, customs for my country is kind of shit. That's why. What's that? That's why I don't usually get shit from no one. Like I just got the Huni, like the hoodie from Mona, but because I sent it to my father and stuff like that. But yeah, we'll figure it out. I was talking about. Oh yeah, that the mistake I saw most of you make, it's that you're just placing info on a grid, right? And that can work for aesthetic purposes. I've done it for sure on some of my pieces, and it's nothing wrong with that. But um, for the purpose of the exercise, we're trying to go a bit more extra, with the design aspect and trying to make it fit within a certain logic that you're developing, like you're designing, right? Like that's design, right? You create the logic for the information to be distributed through your piece. That's design, right? Everything extra we try to do is not this exercise, right? Because we know then we are in the real world and we do it. But I like to think of it as this like this philosophy, right? Like we are training now. Like this is like when you go train, you go lift some heavy weights, right? Then you're not in the real world lifting things that heavy, right? But when you train, you do it heavy, you do it with purpose, you do it like that. So when you're on your everyday life, you don't feel that out of your depth, right? So for this purpose, try to go the extra mile, right? For the Swiss design, make it perfect, make it fit within the logic of the events you're trying to make, right? And make it believable and sort of the references that I show, right? See how much levels of hierarchy they do for their pieces, how much text, subtext, what kind of information, where do they put it, how do they put it, right? What's the difference between how they show their date? And but okay, let's show. Let's do it. I'm gonna do mine now. So first let me open Photoshop. Oh, you wanna see this is some new mockups I'm working. Doing it crazy. Yeah. Spoilers. Let's create a new file now. Let's make it. Okay. Give me credit. No problem. Bye, Jack. So, um, what I was saying. Okay, let's make this 2000 by. I like to design in a 4 by 5, stuff like this. Um, and to make the grid, what I do on Photoshop is let's go to where was it? View, guides, new guide layout. And here you can make the layout, right? The new layout. And let's make it 4 by 8, something like that. I feel it works. I like it. Margins, let's give it a bit more margins. So on the top, let's give it 35, and the bottom 35. 35 in everyone, stuff like that. That works perfect. One nice shortcut is control the dot and comma, right? So you can put on and off the grid. Let's do now. I'm gonna lock the grid. Let's go to view, guides, lock guides, and they are locked now. And we can switch them on and off. Let me know, guys, if you have some more questions that would like to get answered. Now I'm gonna show you a real cool use for ChatGPT that I tried for this. Where is my ChatGPT window? hmm What are you seeing right now? So okay, and I'm doing a made up post. I'm doing a I just give it context and I straight up tell it what I'm about to do. And what I'm trying to do now is trying to come up with the uh, trying to come up with information, right? I don't want to spend too much time thinking about the names of the artist on the copy and all of that. I just want to focus on the design, right? So just gonna say to it, I'm doing a made up poster for a made up event. Could you come up with the information for the poster? That's it, you know. So I'm doing a poster for a made up tattoo convention for the purpose of doing a poster in this design style. Just I know that the convention is gonna be called Blackout, and it's gonna be for black work tattoo. So so it's gonna be name of the convention Blackout, and it's gonna be about all black work tattoo. Could you give me information and copy to fill the design grid, like artists, names, styles, nationalities, etc. And let the AI work. Their location, Zurich, Switzerland. You see, there's a nice. I hadn't thought of that. I didn't thought of a schedule, right? But it's nice to have a schedule because it gives me a nice excuse to make this little information to put on a grid, right? So this is really cool. Even it comes up. That's crazy. That's great. That's great. Right. So let's use this information to populate the poster. What's good, hermano? Actually, we made some friends from Venezuela and we are making a lot of arepas. Arepas. Qué rico arepas. Ah, let me know, guys, if you have some other question. So first, let me do a solid color. Let's do it. And I don't like to work in pure white. I like to do like a semi off white, something like this. Let's do that. Let me change the the grid color just a bit. View guides, new guide layout. To something more visible, something like this. There, perfect. So now let's start place our information. So let's start blackout. Put everything in black. I'm gonna try to do everything black and white. No images for the time being. I may use something at the end to close it, but let's try to make it entirely typographic, right? let's just start playing with it, you know. Also, for placing things on a grid, for example, let's try to make it modular, you know what I mean? If you start to place your elements like the beginning of the text, the first line of the text, if you're going to start placing it like, for example, on the lower vertex, lower right vertex of the of any segment you start designing, then keep that for the rest of the design, right? Or try to use it as a variable. For example, for the title of the convention, I'm gonna place it here, but maybe dates and really small numbers, I place them on the top right part of the grid. So make that distinction follow along all of the design, right? If you place like a small number on the top right top right um, side of the grid, then don't put similar elements in another part, right? No, I didn't read that book. I didn't read it. I'm just going along what I feel grids are and what I've studied, right? But what I studied was heavily influenced by that book. So yeah, because my teachers recommended it a lot. Grid systems is actually from this dude that I show you. Where is it? This dude. This. Joseph Brockmuller. Muller Brockman, sorry. Muller Brockman. The dude is from that book. He's the one that made that book. This grid, this crazy thing. That's the dude. So yeah. So let's continue with this. Blackout. Gonna see. Let's see another type. So let's just place our elements. Let me check again the all our information that we had to paste. Okay, I like it. I'm just checking the ChatGPT thing that would made it do. So it's 15. This, we're gonna change the typology for this. We're gonna make it in Helvetica. Helvetica regular. We're gonna give it a different spacing for this. More of our regular spacing. Another cool thing that you can do, it's, let's do this. For example, the blackout, let's do the typography. It's in 186.25 points, like the the size, right? So one cool thing we can do is try to make it like square, like 180, right? 180. And now let's divide that by, make it by flat dividends of that number, right? Sorry if my English is not correct, but let's divide that by 4. So that's what, 180, and you can divide straight from the point, the size thing for the typography. So I go 180 slash 4, right? And I get the exact divided by 4. So now it's modular, right? And you get like more precise step down from the font, right? The size of the font, and you are not just doing it by eye, and you can sort of support yourself in something that is gonna be modular, right? So this one is gonna make it like that. Actually, I think this should be a bit bigger, so let's make it by 2. So it make it like that by 2, right? So this piece of information, I don't know, I'm just placing stuff like that, and this and the year, because it's still responding to that same question, right? We're gonna do 24, and it's gonna have the same size. I'm gonna put it in the same column because it's responding to the same thing, right? We see like this, then maybe here we can change it, put it like so. Then the blackout, we can play with it. I don't know if I'm in love with it yet. What's next on the information? Oh, Zurich, Switzerland. And this will divide it by 2. So that's 45. Let's bring it closer. Make it even smaller. Let's make it even another by 2. Divided by 2 again. All right. And now we have the art of black work tattoos. Art of black work, I like that. So let's do for that. I'm gonna do it in bold. Zurich, Switzerland. Oh, and it didn't give me like the actual. Ahí está, Zurich Convention Center. This. So the actual address, we're gonna put it in the same typographic style as we did on the country. So let's drag that and put Zurich Convention Center. And let's drag that more to the bottom, right? And Zurich Convention Center, we put it on bold. And the address, let's leave it as it is. So all of this text, I'm gonna put it in a group. So we know that's that group, right? That we can put there. Let's check the grid. Great. What more info do we have? Now we have the artists. So this is the date. This is the where. Now the artists. Aiden, Noir, Ingrid. Kaito Sumi, Lucanero, Sofía Tenebria. Stuff like this. We can then and actually this info I'm gonna place on the bottom part of the grid, right? And actually the art of black work, I'm gonna I don't know what I'm gonna do with this. Let's place it here for the time being. I don't know. And I'm gonna divide this text into different because I don't like it. It is Sumi and get an area like that. This is the same. This is 60, 64. Making them the same size. These are all the artists. Kaito Sumi, Luganero. Let's place it like this. And here I'm just making like a made up separation because I'm gonna do like for each one of these, I'll signal like where they're from, right? That like their countries, and then like this separation from these two, I'll put another hierarchy level that's like realism dot work, like what's the style of tattoo they do. So I came up with that sort of separation, right? Blackout could go something like this also. I remove the grid, and every now and then also try to remove the grid to see how your design like sort of looks, right? And now I'm not feeling so much like the separation, the elements. That looks kind of tighter, right? Perfect. So let's put that there. Now let's make another. Are you guys following along? Let me know. Let me see their nationalities. Abrazo, bro. So the first one was USA. So let's do USA. Right. So for this, let's do this divided by 2. And let's do black, like bold, right? And let's align this with the Aiden. So he is from the USA. So let's do like that. Ingrid, she's from Germany. So let's do her. And actually, this level we can do. We should do this like even smaller because it's gonna compete with the hierarchy level of the what tattoo style that you do. So that's stuff you need to think about so they don't compete. Like you need to the hierarchy levels need to flow together, right, and don't compete with each other. No, it's not cheating. If it makes sense, like let me show you something. Like you made me realize something. Like this is from a work that like this is a work I did for uni, right? This was for the exercise that was design of information, right? Look at this. This is wooden. This is wood. It has this like laser cut over, and I did all these maps, information maps. The, the back part came out, but you see, this is the same that we are doing right now, but this is up to the 11,000, right? This is crazy. Like almost never you would do a work like this in the wild, right? But that's the point of uni, like to go fucking. At least the dudes that teached me were like, go fucking crazy, and then bring it down by bring it down when you're working because you'll never get asked to do stuff like this. Like, look at this. This is a map of information. I don't know if you can see it. This is all grids, and actually, you know, look at this. You can actually sort of see the grid, right? You can sort of see it, and that was a mistake. That when I took it to print to print it, like I left the grid by mistake on, and the teacher liked it so much that said, "Yo, keep it. It looks nice." Because also I was talking about genetics. The overall theme of the book was to trace the genetic origin of the aborigines of my country, right? So it made sense to leave the grid on because it ties to the concept of your gene, right? Because it's what you're made of, like what's the underlying structure, you know. So in that case, it sort of makes sense. So we left. So that was the thing. So now, uh, yeah, yeah. For this design, I don't think we need to keep the grids. I don't think we need it, but we'll see. Let's make this even smaller. Ahí está. There, USA. Like that. Yeah. Italy. And what was the last dude from UK? UK. Ah, perdón. Sorry. There. Sorry, sorry, sorry. Right? And like that you start to develop some, but do you see how I start to draw the, like the correlation in the information using the grids? It's not like just sitting in a grid. Like you need to think about how are you placing your elements so they don't compete, and also how to start to establish those relationships for the information so it actually communicates something. Then we could start to play and maybe even break it a bit. Like for example, I don't know, maybe I want to move this, I want to do move this down here because maybe it will work better. I'm not feeling the blackout, like the blackout, I don't know. I don't know. It's not a matter of style. It will come a time that information may need to be organized in a certain way, right? And also, maybe I don't know your style, but I don't use guides like this in my style, also. But they are there. Like I design with a certain logic to it. Yeah, I never design like this. I do much more intuitive take, but because I've done this 1,000 times in uni, right? It's almost intuitive now. I don't need to set up the grid. I sort of think of things and I make it more by eye, but sometimes it's nice to go back to the grids. And some designs sort of ask for it also, but depending what you're doing. This is artist. So let's name the layer. No. Mm-hmm. Like that. And now let's do, these are the nations. Nations. Yeah, yeah, it's sort of how they did it back in the day. Yeah, there's no wrong or right answer for that. It's not that. Mm, it's personal taste, really. It's what you like to do. What I needed to do right now? Oh yeah, like the style thing. So for that, let's say these two dudes do realism. So let's do slash realism, and let's put that information. It could go. Let's go like here. Maybe this do neo shap, neo Japanese style, and this Sofia does ignorant. I don't know. Oh, let maybe I will post this, and these are real artists. So let's geometric, geometric Japanese. No, it's okay. I don't think. I think this should go. It's not reading that well. I feel. Now these ones. Let's go. Where is my? It went away. In my character window. Not yet. Not yet. Not yet. That's another thing I would like you to try. Like textures come at the end. I see a lot of people like masking their lack of design knowledge or design fundamentals with textures. I do that sometimes, like it's my gist, but it's nice to go back to these things and make solid work. Then you come in with the assets and with the texture and you fuck it up and you make it extra. But it needs to work first. I forgot what I was gonna do. Character. There. So now let's grab these three layers. I don't know if you're seeing me or not. Yeah. And let's go divide this by half again. Hmm. I like that. Let's see if we bring all the artists more over here, like this. I think it works. And let's move the realism, new Japan ignorant. Move it more here. That's cool, right? Nah, too busy. We put it here. Looks kind of better. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I think that works. I think that works better. Remember, I like to do that squinting my eyes. So I squint my eyes and I try to see the hierarchy, right? If I see the different pieces, like I don't need to read them, I just need to see the shapes, right? And I see boom, boom, like what, where, who, and then I see details and I see, oh, okay, okay, it makes sense. Blackout. So I think I'm pretty happy with this, but let's make it like crazy, like extra crazy. Let's go back to the. Now I'm just like playing, like trying different things. This works also. I like it, but keep it let's keep it more traditional for now because I need to see what more I need to add to this because I would like to add more information here to try to tie the grid up and those ends, right? The art of black work. This is crazy. Let's make it. Actually, this we could do in this other typography in Cloister. It's not changing. Cloister black. Let's make it Cloister black and make it more together like that. Oh, if we can do the blackout in Cloister. Let's see. Now we are deviating too much out of the. Mhm. Actually, like this is a bit more messy. I don't know. I don't know. Let's go back to the original. More clean. Also fits more with all the entire storage thing. the address. Let's put it more here. Sorry, guys. This is the part of the design process that I go completely autistic and I don't speak for half an hour. Realism. Oh, thanks. Mhm. It's nice this like the information that ChatGPT did. Let's do and this is with typography. It's this Myriad Pro. Fuck that. Make it Helvetica. Helvetica regular. Let's make this even smaller like this. This can go like so. I was thinking on the names. Maybe another cool thing you can do is, let's say, add like draw the attention to an element more than the other. Like we have all these constants, right? All the names are in this style, so that's a constant, right? And all the nationalities are in this style, that's a constant, right? And the styles and all of that. So let's say this Ingrid Sharon, it's it's a more important name, right? Because I don't know, maybe she's more widely known or whatever, and she's more important. And her name, or let's do maybe all the names are in oblique, right? Or no, 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 I don't like oblique. And maybe hers is in, maybe only hers is in oblique and bold, right? And maybe that signals that her name is more important because whatever reason, right? But I feel it kind of has already nice variables, so I'm gonna leave it like that. I would need more one block of copies, so I'm gonna tell ChatGPT that makes me another. Say make a small copy to use as a footer for the event poster. A bit longer, a bit longer. Make it conversational. That's perfect. That, and let's make a block of text right here. Place it in. Now let's divide this by 2 so it's even smaller, like that. Like a fine print on the poster, you know. That's great. And you sort of see, right, how we have all the different hierarchy levels of the poster are clearly noticeable, right? There is no thing of the poster that looks wildly the same as other parts, so all the hierarchy levels are recognizable, right? So then we can start to play with the composition. I'm gonna drop in some of my logos. ¿Cómo va Omar CT? ¿Todo bien? Thanks, Les. Crack. Se diseña un poco, boludo. Ahora ven, como ya está todo hecho modular, puedo mover las cosas. Oh, sorry. Sorry, I changed to Spanish randomly. I can change since it was all modular. I can change this stuff right on the fly. And you see, kind of works, right? I feel it does. Let's and you see it's all kind of just setting up the grid and start to playing around with it, see how it fits the needs of your design, right? This one it's just at the break of exploding, but I'm overdoing it a bit, right? I'm over putting information over it just to show you, right, the process of pasting information on top of the grid in a way that makes sense, right? Maybe this we can make it smaller and make it bold, maybe like that. Make it fit here. I'm not sold on the art of black work. So here, mm-hmm. I want to play a bit more with this because I'm not super sold nation and the artist. Let's see if I put this here, maybe at the top, maybe here. I'm just playing now, and let's place the blackout. All over here. Oh wow, this is better. I feel it's better, right? Yeah, let's. Yeah, this is better. This is better. Let's let's do this one and then make it a bit more like that. Make it dots. I think this works, right, guys? You hear me, guys? The stream says it's zero for the bitrate. Let me know if you hear me all right. This is cool. Now I'm gonna try to use an image for this. So let's see if we can find something. Let's see if we can find something that works. Right? Let's do pixels, which is free stock photo. I don't have time to use Midjourney. I just wanna find some now nice blackout tattoo or tattoo. Mhm. I want something a bit more minimalistic, like borderline abstract. Some nice blackout tattoos. Let me find. Yo, what Machine Gun Kelly did, it's crazy. Yo, that's nice. Also, like to get that like neoprene, like a diver. It looks like a diver suit. To get that texture on the black, like the tattoo artist needs to be crazy. Like I got this like pure black, and we had to do it again because it's super hard to get the pure black on a tattoo. I want something more like kind of like this, but not the Machine Gun Kelly one. It's on Pinterest. Blackout tattoo. I want a very specific image, but I don't know if I might get it here. I might have to do it with Midjourney. Yeah, I'm gonna do Midjourney. Mm, Midjourney bot. Let's go here. I was doing some Elden Ring stuff, so let's do a imagine close up shot of neck with all black blackout tattoo, and I'm gonna do a reference blackout tattoo, and I'm gonna do Close up shot of neck, woman neck, woman neck. With all black blackout tattoo. Let's see what it does. No, it's really cool. Something like this I want, but just the image of the arm, right? That arm is crazy. But I want it to be sort of minimalistic, the shot. This one's cool. Hmm, do it again. No, I think we might be better off like leaving it as is. I'm just gonna play a bit more with the blackout. I'm not entirely sold on it like this. Ooh, the Evangelion one is crazy. No, no. No, I think we're gonna leave it like this, and let's add some texture to it, and we'll be done. I keep pressing Control K like this. Now what we're gonna do is let's grab all these layers, including the background. Let's put it in a group. Let's duplicate it. Let's gonna get rid of this one, and the top one. Let's make it. No, let's grab everything but the white layer, convert it into a smart object, and now let's do filter field blur. And now let's blur specific parts of the image. And the concept for this will be like, you know how black tattoo, it tends to open up after it's getting a bit old, the ink starts to open up a bit. So let's play with that idea a bit. Some, some parts of the design may get a bit mushy. like that. Here we can do a bit more of blur. I don't want to break it too much because this is still Swiss design, you know what I mean? But just for shits and giggles, like that. I don't want to overdo it because I don't want to break too much the design. Here in the blackout, we can for sure break it a bit. This works. The part where we have the typography that's too small, let's keep it to a minimum so it doesn't break too much. So let's press OK on that. Now let's do a fine noise. I have this action. I have a pack of like easy actions to release, but I'm not gonna do that yet. So like that. Now let's do levels. That works. That works. Still legible. Crazy. Bring in the noise again. Let's do a gradient map on top of everything, and let's make it like this, but less. Like that. And let's go blacker. The blur gallery, let me like that. I know Ingrid. I like here that sort of bien ahí, Chester. Bien ahí. Nice, nice. Bro did an exam right that he thought he flapped and it was alright. So this works, right? So this works. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to my assets folder. I'm gonna go to my paper cut. You already know, guys. Like paper cut is the go-to. Like, look at all these textures, man. Let's do the good old blank texture like that. Boom. Let's do an adjustments layer. Let's do a bit of contrast. No, 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 no. I'm gonna do this one only. It was just to show like kind of the logic that goes behind making the grids and how to sort of think about the the lines in terms of how do we order this information instead of just I'm gonna place it there, like how we establish the constant between the date, right? So same typology of text means same kind of information, right? And that's it, my guys. Here we're done. Bam. Twist design. You know what I mean? So let me know if you have any further questions about the process and yeah, I hope this was sort of enlightening to you also how to tackle the next week's challenge because we're gonna make it almost the same, like do a different iteration of the poster and try to come up with something. I don't want to mean like copy this style, but try to think of that, like how you're gonna place the information. I want to see you try different compositions in terms of placing the information, right? This one's pretty mid, you know what I mean? Regarding to Swiss design, it's pretty conservative, right? You can go much crazier than this, I feel. That's also nice to see the positive and the negative, as Omar is saying, because it lets you see like the difference in the negative space and allows you to see it with a different set of eyes. Ooh, the negative is kind of crazy. I think I like the negative more. I don't know, my guy. Ooh. What do you guys think? You like more the negative or the positive? What do you guys think? Negative goes crazy, right? Nice, thanks. Bro knows. Bro fucking knows. Negative for sure, right? Yeah. Goes hard. Goes pretty hard. Oh, I was moving this. I don't know if you were seeing. Just subtle changes. So, like that, my guy. Boom. You know what I mean? Do you have any other questions, guys? Tell me now. Maybe you want to, maybe someone would like to speak on it did whatever. Some late for feedback. Again, guys, don't do the dollar lorem ipsum. I just show you like a cool way to come up with quick information to fill the poster out and make it make sense, and also in a way that's gonna make you think and it's gonna make you give you what you need really to really come up with a poster, right? Do the chat GPT thing, and yeah, my guys, that's been everything. I really like the end result of the poster. Really, I really like how it turned out. Let me go back to the. I really like the result. I'm not gonna lie. I like it. I can see it being one of the most shared Pinterest bullshit. You know, it hits that sweet spot of. "Hmm, I like it. I like it. I want to see you guys do stuff like this. Drop the texture. Leave that for the end. Now it's not the time for that. I just did it to fuck around and because you want to see it, but design works regardless. So yeah, go at it, have fun with it, play with it, like try beautiful, play with it, and yeah, just have fun with it. Like do the grid and start mixing and matching, move things around, think how see how they correlate. You saw how the poster changed entirely when I moved the top part to the bottom, right? Because we have like this nice we have like this nice like heavy part at the bottom that sort of breaks down, and we have like the main focus of information here. Then from there it flows that vertical line up to the second hierarchy, which is the date. Then it comes down to the artists names, and then at the bottom to the bullet points, and I think I really like it. Oh my god. And the black at the end, senseless, like really fucking nailed it with negative. That's another kind of tricks that you should do always for your posters. Try to first test the negative, as bro said. Test the negative for your posters and also flip them around. I don't remember what was the shortcut for this here. I think it was, no, I don't remember. But flipping them around allows you to see them like with a fresh set of eyes each time. But we'll do that in another time, in another tutorial or process video, whatever the fuck. Yeah, my guys. Hope you liked it. I really enjoy doing this and allowing you to maybe see into this part of the process. Maybe the ones that didn't go to uni, maybe never really get to experience this and do this kind of exercises. So take this really take the opportunity, right? Make a grid. And the point with this, you need to make a bunch of them to till it sinks, right? Till it sinks and you really internalize the information. So do a bunch, like grab grids and start making cool posters, cool compositions. Maybe they don't need to follow like a strict guideline of what it should look like or what is it for, right? But start to playing with them and thinking in terms of hierarchy and delivery of information, really, right? Because ultimately this is what this is, right? And don't worry, we'll go back to the thing, more artistic things later down the line. And let's see by the end of the year if we can merge it all together and really develop ourselves as designers and creatives in this day and age, my guys. So yeah, that was everything. Hope you liked it. See you in the next stream. Hopefully, go follow the Instagram, follow the YouTube. You already know how it is. Talk peace. Wish you conflict, my she. See you later. Peace, guys.